It's kind of fun to do the impossible, like picking only 5 facts about Walt Disney. Fact 1. Walt Disney was born in Chicago, the fourth of 5 children on December 5, 1901. When he was 4, he and his family moved to Marceline, Missouri, which would later inspire the idea for Main Street, USA in Disneyland. Throughout his life, Walt would return to Marceline and would even donate one of Disneyland's original Autopias to his hometown. In 1919, at 17 years old, Walt returned to Kansas City, Missouri from Europe. He served in France right after World War I, driving an ambulance and doing other cleanup chores for about 9 months as the troops were getting ready to come home. Soon after, he made plans to open his own studio, but not the one you might be thinking. Fact 2. At 20 years old, Walt started his own company, Laugh-O-Gram Films. The studio produced 7 modernized versions of fairy tales. They also produced an unreleased pilot called Alice's Wonderland, which impressively mixed live action with animation. Similar techniques would be used many years later in Disney films like Mary Poppins and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Also under the Laugh-O-Gram Films banner, Walt adapted Cinderella in 1922, along with titles such as Goldilocks and the Three Bears and Jack and the Beanstalk. When Laugh-O-Gram Films closed in 1923, Walt moved to Hollywood in July of that year at 21 years old, with just $40 in cash, a suitcase, and a dream of becoming a director. Just a few years later, Walt came up with the idea for a fun-loving animated fellow who's still beloved to this day. You know him, you'll love him, everyone's favorite, Lucky Rabbit. Fact 3. In 1927, Walt and animators like Ub Iwerks started to produce shorts centered around a character Walt had created named Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Everything was going great for the newly formed Disney Brothers studio, until Walt lost creative control of Oswald in 1928. The Walt Disney Company would later welcome Oswald back into the fold, but that wouldn't be until 2006. From this experience, Walt conceived a new, happy-go-lucky character. Say it with me, Mortimer Mouse. Who's that? Walt's wife Lillian thought that name was terrible and suggested Mickey Mouse as an adorable, alternative alliteration. Mickey made his debut in 1928 in Steamboat Willie, the first fully synchronized sound-on-film cartoon. Mickey didn't speak until 1929 in The Carnival Kid, and who better to voice the character than the man himself?
We fooled him. Oh, yeah?
Hot dogs! Hot dogs! Those were Mickey's first words, and where better to enjoy a hot dog than Disneyland? Fact 4. In the early 1950s, Walt had the idea for what would become the happiest place on Earth. Walt had built a 1/8 scale steam locomotive with a half-mile of track that circled his home. Yet, he wanted something bigger, so plans were made to build a park with a full-size train across from the Disney studio in Burbank. Plans grew even bigger still, and Walt and his research team decided a 160-acre orange grove in Anaheim would be the ideal spot for what would become known as Disneyland. The original Disneyland took just shy of 1 year to construct, from July 1954 to opening day July 17, 1955. Several opening day attractions like Jungle Cruise and Autopia still exist today, but there's one attraction that many don't realize was Walt's idea. Fact 5. The concept for a Space Mountain was originally conceived by Walt and developed by Imagineer John Hench in 1965, even though it wouldn't open at Magic Kingdom Park until 1975. Walt wanted to do something no one had ever done before: build a roller coaster ride in the dark with complete control over lighting and projections on the interior walls. You can even see concept art for Space Mountain in this Disneyland park map from 1967, a decade before the ride would open at Disneyland in 1977. Talk about Tomorrowland! Today, the attraction can be enjoyed by visitors at Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Tokyo Disneyland, Disneyland Paris, and Hong Kong Disneyland, as the legacy lives on. Thanks for watching! Let us know what other Disney topics you would like to learn more about, and Walt, is there anything you would like to add?
I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that was all started by a mouse.